o'er the ramparts we walk, horse so gallantly streaming, and the rockets back, the bombs bursting in air, he's proof through the night that a flag was still there. Oh, status that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Live from Red Wilson Field, it's time for Y-D Red Sox baseball as the Y-D Red Sox host the Harwich Mariners. Hello and welcome. Alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein. Happy to be with you. And Will, a crucial Eastern Division matchup. Seems like we say that every other day, if not every day, but the East is just so tight right now. Harwich and Y-D separated by just 2 points, and the Red Sox have a chance to overtake the Mariners for second place in the East with a win today. They go with Luis Ramirez to get them there.
Yes, Y-D trailing Harwich by a game right now, who has the second spot. Brewster just a point ahead of Harwich, the top spot in the East, and it's going to be crucial not just today, but 2 of the next 3 days. Y-D is playing against Harwich here at Red Wilson Field, the 2 teams battling for one of those top 2 spots in the East.
So it's Tatum Levens leading off against Luis Ramirez, the righty from Long Beach State. He kicks and deals. First pitch fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Y-D in their home whites with red lettering and white pants, and Harwich in their road blues with navy pants and blue lining down the side. And Tatum Levens watches the fastball, same spot on the outside corner for strike 2. Well, Tatum Levens has really emerged as the primary leadoff man for Harwich. He's led off in all but 1 game in July. Fastball taken off the plate for ball 1, and Levens is doing a pretty good job leading off too. He's .305 on the season, but in July has a .545 on-base percentage in the first inning as the leadoff man. And he pokes it a mile high over down the third base line. Bowser, the third baseman, is there to make the catch for out number 1.
Good pitching right there by Ramirez. He gets ahead with 2 strikes. And all year we've had a prime storyline for Luis Ramirez. His ability to get the strikeout, weak contact with the slider. Opponents are hitting just 137 against Ramirez through 4 starts, where his ERA is just a little bit above 2. He's been really effective for Y-D this season.
205 as the slider gets away from him for ball 1 to the lefty Chris Newell, center fielder and a 2020 co-freshman of the year. And Luis Ramirez with that 205 ERA, a step down from his mid-4 ERA this past year, 2021 for Long Beach State. 1 ball, 1 strike to Newell now. 27 strikeouts as a Red Sox. That is 6 below the league lead. Count even at 1-1. Ramirez deals. Fastball spiked low, and Ramirez immediately hopped off the mound. Looked like he might have lost his balance there, Will.
Yeah, a couple times during this at-bat, he has lost the grip on the ball a little bit. The first pitch to Newell popped out of his hand, the slider in there. It looked like he just didn't have good landing and kind of fell off to his left side.
So it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Newell takes the fastball off the plate.
Ramirez this season, he's been consistent. That's been the biggest thing. All of his starts, he's gone 5+ with 3 earned runs or less and 6+ strikeouts. So all quality starts through 4 starts for the right-hander.
The sophomore from Virginia clocks that one to deep right field. Forget about it. It is out of here. A 1-out home run in the first inning puts Harwich up 1-0. The 3rd home run of the season for Chris Newell. It was a no doubt about it shot.
Chris Newell, so talented, somebody who's projected to be picked very high next year, ambushed the ball to the right side, pulled the fastball. He was ahead 3-1 in the count. He was 0 for his last 8, but punishes the baseball, puts it out of the park for his 3rd home run of the summer, and someone who was one of the best freshmen in the entire nation in 2020. National Co-Freshman of the Year, and he showcases his talent there by hitting that ball a mile to right field.
And Luis Ramirez gave up a couple of home runs, not in his last start, but in the start prior here at Red Wilson Field against Falmouth. It was a quality start, 3 runs, 6 innings, but just 2 pitches getting away from him, 2 home runs. Chopped foul to the left side and touched foul by Cody Huff. And those were the only 2 hits that he gave up.
Yeah, before this start, before that home run from Newell, had 5 earned runs allowed on the season, but 3 of them came in that start before the last start against Falmouth in the top of the 3rd when they hit 2 home runs during that frame. 65 1/3 at Long Beach State, he only allowed 2 home runs.
But as a team, home runs have been a problem as well. As the 0-2 to Wilkin is swung on and missed. Strike 3 got him on the slider, Sir Brock Wilkin. Arguably the best hitter in the CCBL, leading the league in hits and RBIs. 3rd in average, goes down easy peasy for the 2nd out and the first strikeout of the day for Luis Ramirez.
Yeah, it's been a statistic to watch out for, the long balls allowed by Y-D. That's the 28th home run surrendered by Y-D pitching, which is most in the league.
Now Brewster has allowed 23, their 2nd. And a first pitch slider taken by Carter Putz, the DH, for strike 1. Putz is 3 for 5 against Y-D. That's a .375 batting average, a double and an RBI under his belt as well. Swings through the fastball outside. No balls and 2 strikes to Putz from Notre Dame. Hit .305 for the Irish this past year. Since he last played Y-D, though, on July 8th, he's fallen into a bit of an extra base hit slump. Slider off the plate, 1-2, 2 outs, no one on, and a 1-0 lead for Harwich. But he has not recorded an extra base hit since the double on July 8th against Y-D. Slider chop foul. But they did have the game-winning 2-run single in the 8th yesterday to power Harwich over Chatham 3-2 on the road. And that was a big win for Harwich, a team that's playing extremely well right now, 7-1-2 over their last 10 games. The 1-2 nubbed foul.
Yeah, he went to the changeup there after going to the slider, and that's his repertoire. He's got the 4-seam, 2-seam, and then changeup and slider, but his bread and butter is that slider that he can rip off.
Ramirez goes again. The 1-2 checked his swing, went around. Strike 3. The second strikeout of the day for Luis Ramirez, and 3 outs in 4 batters faced for the righty from Long Beach State. But that one outlier, a big home run from Chris Newell to break open the scoring, already 1-0 in favor of the Mariners in the middle of the first, right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Will Connerly, Brad Klein, happy to be with you. Wyatt Hoffman leading off the bottom of the first for Y-D, down by 1 on a big hit by Chris Newell, a home run that might still be traveling past that right field fence. And Andrew Mosiello, the starter for the Mariners, quickly ahead 0-2 on Hoffman. Mosiello from Oregon has had himself quite the year already. With a 2.91 ERA, this is his 4th start, and Wyatt Hoffman clocks it up the middle into center field, a leadoff single for Wyatt Hoffman.
And he continues to produce at the top of this order for Y-D, hitting above 300, and he's just not slowing down.
Well, the interesting thing about Wyatt Hoffman is he's hitting 382 at home, so a leadoff single shouldn't come as much as of a surprise. But he's only hitting 238 in the leadoff spot, and considering how good he is with runners on base, 632, you would think he'd be in the meat of the order. Tanner Smith showing bunt, pulled back, and the fastball is high for ball 1.
Yeah, he gets on base. He's your best hitter on the team right now. Statistically, throughout the year, he has been. And for a long time, throughout that 9-game hitting streak, he was a one-man band. No one else was coming around, but now he has some reinforcements throughout this lineup, and he's on a 6-game hit streak again now after that single here in the first.
Tanner Smith hitting .227 on the year, takes the fastball upstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. And the previous 5 games also featured doubles. We'll see if he can continue that streak later today. Infield at double play depth, no out, runner on first base, Y-D down by 1. And Tanner Smith was looking to take a strike. There it is, fastball on the outside corner. Smith from Oregon, so a teammate of Mosiello's. But he's 2 for his last 24. Ever since the 4 RBI, 2 home run game he had at Red Wilson Field. Grounds it foul, back to the Y-D dugout.
So Wyatt Hoffman had a 9-game hit streak, and then he had a 3-game stretch where he went 1 for 9. And now the past 6 games since that, he's on a 6-game hit streak with riding a 5-game double streak as well.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Tanner Smith. A very modest lead for Wyatt Hoffman on first base. Not going, and Smith cracks it foul down the left field line. Andrew Mosiello has been in high-pressure situations before, and we've already documented this as a big game for both sides. His first start for Oregon came in the Eugene Regional Final against LSU. And I did give up 4 runs. They were all earned over 4 innings pitched, but to step in as a starter for the first time on that stage, pretty crazy. As Smith ropes it down the first base line, it's caught by Phillips. He stomps on the bag, and Wyatt Hoffman is caught between first and second. A double play unassisted by Phillips, and all of a sudden, blink of an eye, there are 2 away.
Yeah, unfortunate right there. Not much that Wyatt Hoffman can do. Gets his secondary. Tanner Smith put a good piece on it, but Dylan Phillips is there, the first baseman for Harwich, to step on the bag, and Mosiello will take it. That's what you want as a pitcher, surrender it, but then get the best friend, a double play, and kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
So here's Dominic Keegan, the junior from Vanderbilt, who only has 2 home runs in his CCBL, or rather 2 hits in his CCBL career. One of them was a home run, and it was yesterday, and it was a big deal because it's still traveling past center field. We never got the metrics on it, but it went a long way, and Dom Keegan, as the 3-hitter for Vandy, is anticipated as a big deal for the CCBL and especially for Y-D, and he's right now in a 1-2 hole with 2 outs and no one on, down by 1 in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, he's a really good player, has a ton of power, 15 home runs at Vanderbilt, but he showed it yesterday to dead center.
2 balls and 2 strikes. So Keegan went 0 for 11 as a Firebird in 2019 and got off to an 0 for 5 start, including his first at-bat yesterday for Y-D in 2021. And he drives that one to deep center field. Chris Newell chasing back. He's watching it go. Kerplunk off the tree. The second home run of the year for Dominic Keegan. And that's the equalizer.
Dominic Keegan, such a good player. 2 strikes on him, and he still hits it to dead center field. That one seemed like it was hit harder than the one yesterday. It took a little piece of bark off the tree in center field, and wow, dead center, Dominic Keegan. It's nice to have him. Just stick him in the middle of your order for Y-D, and he just produces someone with just such a simple swing. He doesn't have much moving parts, and he gets to any pitch. Inside corner, punishes it.
And Cody Huff tattoos that one to deep left field, but Kavanaugh saunters under it to make the catch, side retired. 1 run and 2 hits, and no one left on. Timber at Red Wilson Field. Dominic Keegan nearly taken down a tree in center. We're tied at 1 apiece heading to the second, right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. From Red Wilson Field on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, it's the top of the second inning, and we're tied at one apiece, one home run for each side. Chris Newell in the first inning, or the top of the first inning for Harwich, and Dominic Keegan just a few minutes ago on the bottom half for Y-D. And the first pitch slider way outside to Press Kavanaugh, the left fielder, who's hitting .448 against righties and .333 on the year. But Luis Ramirez getting some, I guess you can call it run support. After giving up the home run, doesn't have to sit on the deficit for very long, and you can only imagine how important that is for his mindset.
No, it's crucial to know your team's going to get right back at it for you. And Keegan giving him the home run, that gives him some support.
And Ramirez spikes it off the right toe of Press Kavanaugh, hit by pitch and a free pass to lead off the top of the second inning.
Yeah, Luis Ramirez, he hit 3 batters in his first start. Then it wasn't really too big of an issue the last 3 starts for the right-hander. And he's someone who mentions when he does hit guys, it usually is with the slider in situations where it can run a little too much, get in on a guy. And at Long Beach State, he hit 14 batters.
Yeah, it's typically a weakness of his game. No outs, runner on first base, and the first pitch fastball misses low and inside to Jordan Beck, who's 5 for his last 9. And Luis Ramirez has had plenty of run support on paper. After all, Y-D has scored 5 runs in each of his starts with the exception of the scoreless tie he pitched in against Orleans. But when he's on the mound, Y-D's only scored 4 runs. So typically those runs coming in the later portions of games. One ball, one strike, with Kavanaugh on first base, tied at 1 apiece, top of the second inning. Jordan Beck watches that front door slider. Nothing he can do about that one.
Well, Ramirez in his last start, he just surrendered a run, but picked up the loss against Brewster.
So my apologies. He actually was on the mound for 5 runs in his first start, 5 in his third, none in the second because that was a scoreless tie, and did only get 1 run of run support in his last start.
Tough decision, going 5 innings in 1 earned and getting the loss.
Ground ball over to third, could be 2. Gathered by Bowser, fired over to second for 1, on to first, not in time. Wyatt Hoffman's relay throw was just a nickel short, but 1 out on the force. Drew Bowser turns it pretty quickly.
Yeah, Bowser to Hoffman right there was a nice 5-4 fielder's choice to get Kavanaugh off the base paths. And they almost nearly turned it. But they went about as quick as they could on the infield with Jordan Beck running down the line.
Well, Beck runs very well, the sophomore from Tennessee, who was drafted in the 14th round by the Boston Red Sox in 2019. Here comes Dylan Phillips, the first baseman. 1 ball, no strikes. Phillips, the junior from Kansas State, watches the fastball again off the plate, 2-0. Had 16 home runs in 2021. That tied a single-season program record, which was set in the 1990s. 31 home runs for his career, 4th all-time in Kansas State history. Slider taken low. So Luis Ramirez started this top of the second off with a hit batsman, and now in a 3-0 hole with a runner on first and 1 out. Fastball gets over.
Yeah, good 3-0 pitch right there. Someone who has the power that Phillips does. I mean, a lot of these guys, they're not afraid to swing 3-0 if you serve something up on a silver platter, but Ramirez, he was still trying to hit his spot on the outside corner on that 3-0 pitch.
Here's the 3-1 from Ramirez. Fastball driven up the middle. It's down for a base hit. Luttrell fields it on 2 hops. No, he kicks it around, and on to third is Jordan Beck. Runners on the corners with 1 out on the single and then an error. Dylan Phillips on first.
Yeah, and Phillips, someone with good power, all Big 12 second team in 2021 this past season, just playing in his 3rd game for Harwich, but he's going to be a nice bat, just like Dominic Keegan was an addition for Y-D for this order. Both teams, of course, trying to fight for that top 2 in the East to get a playoff spot, and both of those bats are going to be instrumental for the team's success.
That's a crucial error out in center field for Chase Luttrell, and now the leading run is just 90 feet away for Max Codier from Virginia. Player that doesn't have too much pop, but one fly ball could be the difference as Cody Huff now checks down to third, and a nice scoop by Bowser to keep that ball out from left field.
Yeah, Cody Huff and Drew Bowser, they have good chemistry, both playing together at Stanford. They had the connection throwing down there, but Bowser doing a good job of keeping it in front of him, or that's a run if it gets into left field with Cody Huff being aggressive. But he's not afraid to throw. We've seen his throwing ability be very good. But Ramirez right here, a ground ball does get you out of the inning as well.
He is yet to force a ground ball with the exception of the fielder's choice. That Bowser turn to get the lead runner at second. That one roped down the right field line. It's down for a base hit. Could be extra bases, but it is a run as Jordan Beck comes around to score. It's a 1-out RBI double for Max Codier. Runners on second and third, and Harwich leads 2-1.
Yeah, they hit the ball hard right there on the right side. Max Codier with his 4th hit of the year, his first run driven in of the season. And it gives Harwich the lead here in the top of the second. And now Coach Vasella wants to have a conversation with Ramirez, who surrendered a few hits in this inning. But the hit by pitch to lead off the frame, that's what's come back to bite Y-D so far.
The hit batsman not helping, and we can't go into the mind of Tom Vasella and get into that huddle. But what we can do is realize that the slider from Luis Ramirez is not quite as sharp as we're used to seeing.
Yeah, it hasn't been completely tight. He's thrown some good sliders, but he's leaving a few pitches up. He left that 3. He's getting in counts that aren't favorable. Chris Newell in a hitter's count hit the home run, and the same thing with Codier, who was aggressive earlier in the count.
Infield halfway, and a nubbed foul off of the left leg of Zach Preisner.
And when you rely on one pitch, it's not a bad thing. You just have to hope that that pitch can come through for you when you go on the mound. And not every day you're going to have your best stuff. And the days that you don't, that really can determine how successful you can be as a pitcher. How well can you battle when you don't have your best stuff?
The 0-1 taken down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes to Zach Preisner, who is 1 for 8 against Y-D this year. Hitting .203 overall. Has 3 RBIs and 2 runners in scoring position now.
The fastball from Ramirez has looked good today on the arm side, though. He's hit his arm side spot almost every time when Cody Huff sets up inside to right-handers.
And the 0-2 to Preisner. Taken off the plate. And Preisner with a good eye there. Hitting a .150 with runners in scoring position. He's also had 20 at-bats, which is 3rd most on the team with runners in scoring position. A 1-2 clocked down the left field line and fell.
Yeah, someone who hits toward the bottom of the order. You're going to get a lot of opportunities with runners aboard if the rest of the lineup can do a job. And Harwich has done solid hitting .240 as a team this year.
1 ball, 2 strikes. It's Phillips on third, Codier on second. Harwich leads by 1. Foul ball out of play to the right side.
And Y-D with the infield coming a little bit in. They want to know how important that run at third is, especially with the fact that Harwich has pitched the ball very effectively the last 3 meetings against Y-D, and Mosiello is a good arm on the other side, already trailing by a run in the second.
And Ramirez steps off. Luis Ramirez in some early trouble. Got the loss in his last outing against Brewster in a 5-1 loss. That was his first L of the year, first decision of the year. And the 1-2 from Ramirez, taken off the plate. Nice take again by Preisner, making Ramirez earn it. Coming up on the 39th pitch of the day for Luis Ramirez. With the infield halfway in, the outfield straight up. The 2-2 taken just inside, maybe a little low, and Zach Preisner claws his way back from 0-2 to 3-2.
You're right, Preisner has battled. He's grinded in this at-bat. Luis Ramirez missed the 0-2 slider, and he's been able to have a few foul balls to stay alive and make Ramirez throw more pitches when his pitch count's already about half of what he normally throws.
Here's the 8th pitch of the at-bat. 3-2 taken inside, ball 4. The second free pass of this inning loads the bases for the top of the order, Tatum Levens.
A few free passes in this inning, and it hasn't been uncompetitive free passes. Well, the hit by pitch happened to Press Kavanaugh, but right there, that's just a really competitive at-bat by Preisner. And Ramirez knows he doesn't want to leave something over the plate, and he was trying to nibble on those corners and was just missing his spot.
Fastball on the outside corner. Tatum Levens has 1 at-bat with the bases loaded this year, and he drove in 2 runs. It's Dylan Phillips on third, Codier on second, Zach Preisner on first after the walk. Still only 1 out in the top of the second. Harwich leads 2-1. And Levens waves at the changeup low below the zone, 0-2.
Outside fastball taken, changeup low, swung on, and Ramirez mixing his pitches in this situation. It would be huge if he would be able to get out of this with not allowing any more runs.
Does he go to the slider on the lefty? The 0-2, fastball. He's grounded over to Hoffman. Backhanded flip over to second. On to first. That's a double play. Luis Ramirez strands the bases loaded and limits the damage. 4-6-3 to retire the side. That is exactly what Ramirez needed. And Harwich only gets 1 run in the top of the second inning. To the middle of the second we go, right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Bottom of the second inning, and Y-D down by 1 on Harwich. Here with Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein. Chase Luttrell, the lefty from Long Beach State, and the hottest hitter that Y-D has to offer, hitting a team best 306 over his last 10 games with 7 RBIs, including a 2-run single that was integral in Y-D's comeback last night over Orleans with a 6-run 7th inning, which ended up acting as the 9th.
And through 3 games against Harwich as well, he has 4 hits. So he hits well against Harwich. And what's been interesting about Luttrell is he's had big hits the past 2 games. The 2 RBI triple and then the 2 RBI single last night to tie the game.
Not to mention the would have been, could have been, should have been 2-run double in Brewster that was wiped out due to rain in the 9th inning.
He's even hotter than the numbers show. He is really swinging the bat much better than he has all year right now.
And Luttrell socks it to right field, but Beck is under it to make the catch 10 feet in front of the warning track for out number 1.
And even that at bat right there, Luttrell, he put a good piece on it, and he's starting to see the ball better, it seems like, and he's hitting lefties better. Last 2 games he's gotten hit against lefties, which was something that he struggled at as a big left-handed hitter, but got a good piece against Mosiello, the right-hander.
So here's Crew Robinson. And if you're a fan of extra base hits, this is your man.
Oh, yeah.
All of his hits as a Y-D Red Sox have been for extra bases.
Who isn't a fan of extra base hits?
Pitchers, for one.
That's fair.
Robinson takes off the plate for balls, or rather on the outside corner for strike 1. Count even at 1-1 with 1 out. In the bottom of the second, a 2-1 lead for Harwich. And Crew Robinson, the UC San Diego transfer, takes strike 2. So Harwich only leading 2-1. That's a big deal. Luis Ramirez in the last frame stranded the bases loaded by inducing a ground ball for the double play to retire the side. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Robinson.
And for Robinson, it may be signs of more things to come. It's what he did at the junior college level this past year. 64 hits, 32 of them went for extra bases, 50%.
No dice there. Strike 3 on the swing. The elevated fastball got him. 2 away. The first strikeout of the day for Mosiello, who has really been pretty good. Gave up the leadoff single to Wyatt Hoffman in a way who's not giving up leadoff singles to Wyatt Hoffman. And then the home run to Dom Keegan. From there, he's been spotless, and Bowser takes a big hack at the first pitch fastball for strike 1.
Yeah, that double play was tough. Tanner Smith didn't get a bad piece of it, and neither did Chase Luttrell. They both pieced it up decently. I think they're seeing Mosiello well right now. But he is looking good now ahead on Drew Bowser.
No balls and 2 strikes with no one on and 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Harwich 2, Y-D 1. Andrew Mosiello with his green Oregon cleats kicks and deals, and Bowser gets a piece of it. To the Harwich dugout it goes. He stays alive.
And he started to go longer in all his outings. Went 3 innings in his first outing, 4 innings in his second outing, 5 and a third, and that was his best outing last time out. You wonder how far he can go in this one after being a primary reliever for Oregon.
Bowser goes down swinging for out number 3. The breaking ball off the plate was too tasty to lay off. The second consecutive strikeout retires the side, and Bowser not happy with himself. 2 strikeouts on the day for Mosiello, only 1 run allowed through 2 innings. And at the end of 2, it's 2-1 in favor of Harwich right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network.
Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, and Luis Ramirez for his third inning of work here in the top of the third. A 2-1 score in favor of Harwich. And the first pitch misses outside to Chris Newell. Newell, 4 career home runs in 76 games played at Virginia. In his 12th game here for Harwich of the summer, he's hit 3 home runs after having a home run in the first. A highly touted player who hit .407 in the shortened 2020 season and was National Co-Freshman of the Year as he swings through the 1-1 pitch. The average dropped off a little bit this past season, but a highly touted prospect out of Virginia. Expected to be picked high in next year's draft, the class of 2022. Ramirez with the 1-2. We'll see if he can't settle in. Worked out of some trouble as the slider misses outside. Last inning, a few walks, an error that advanced a runner, but a 4-6-3 double play to end the second with the bases loaded, and Ramirez pulls the string and gets Newell to strike out. 1 away here in the third, and the third strikeout for Luis Ramirez. He had 2 strikeouts in the first, but did surrender the home run to Newell. And in the second, allowed a hit by pitch of Press Kavanaugh. Hit him to begin the second. He came around to score. And he surrendered 2 hits in that inning, but with the bases loaded and nobody out, Ramirez was able to get out of it with just a masterful double play turned up the middle. And Wyatt Hoffman, he's been starting double plays all year long. He's been so crucial on the right side of the infield, playing with Dominic Keegan on the right side. But you also couple that with turning double plays. Requires good chemistry as that ball's hit to Zach Lou at short, thrown over to first, and in time, Zach Lou with a web gem. He backhands it and throws it over to first, and his first start at shortstop makes the play. There's 2 away. And that's exactly what we were talking about with the double play turned up the middle to end the second. It was Zach Lou who was a part of that combination. And then right there with Brock Wilken grounding out, one of the best defensive plays we've seen all season long from Zach Lou in the outfield, throwing it across the diamond. And it's very difficult to go from third over to short. He's been playing third most of the year, moves to short, and he's made 2 incredible plays already. We're in the third.
And well, it almost seems like Pickler's awarding him with a start at shortstop for how well he's played third base, saying, okay, well, you're really not making that many mistakes, if any, at third. Let's see if you can take on the added challenge of more range and more mobility at short.
Carter Putz fouls it away. Yeah, Zach Lou, he's been outstanding with the glove this year. Somebody coming from Cal State Fullerton. And handling shortstop extremely well. The 22-year-old flashing the leather the last 2 frames as Putz fouls it away to the right side. A 2-1 lead for Harwich. They had a tally in each the first and the second frame. Here in the top of the third, nobody on and 2 outs. The 1-2 offering here to Carter Putz. Hit softly left side foul. So Ramirez approached the Chris Newell at bat with a little vengeance. Got him to strike out swinging after surrendering the home run to the UVA outfielder in the first, and then got Brock Wilken to ground out on what looked like a surefire single to left field on the ground. But Zach Lou said, this is not going through the 5-6 hole. I'm grabbing it, and he threw it across the diamond, and Dominic Keegan was there to make the stretch, the 1-2. Fouled away right side. Putz staying alive in this at-bat.
And it's really going to come down, this inning's a good sign. I think it's going to come down to the 4th inning to see if Ramirez is really calmed down from the first and second and all the traffic he had on the base paths.
Grounded left side. Bowser's there. Backhands it. Throws it across the diamond. Keegan's there to make the stretch. And the side is retired. Luis Ramirez with a 1-2-3 third. And in the middle of the third, it's a 2-1 lead for Harwich. Kick it over to the bottom of the third next on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Cade Hunter, Zach Liu, Wyatt Hoffman due up. First pitch misses outside to Cade Hunter. Andrew Mosiello on the mound, the right-hander out of Oregon. As Hunter fouls it away. Hunter 3 for 18 against right-handed pitchers so far this season. And Andrew Mosiello, the right-handed starting pitcher, has a fastball about 90 to 92 miles an hour with a changeup, cutter, and curveball as well. And the freshman for the Oregon Ducks didn't make a start until the regional final, his first career start, after working out of the bullpen in the shortened COVID season and then doing so this year as well. But had some success, went 4 innings, and then has had the same here on K, being a primary starter for Harwich in the rotation. Two balls and 2 strikes to Cade Hunter. Here to lead off the bottom of the third. Pitch misses high. Full count. And the right-hander, a career in baseball is pretty expected for him. His whole family heavily involved with baseball. He's the nephew of TCU hitting coach Bill Mosiello. Swing and a miss by Hunter, and strike 3, 1 out in the bottom of the third.
That's the third straight strikeout dating back to the last inning from Mosiello, and I've been so impressed with how he's calmed down after the first. Right, he had the single given up to Wyatt Hoffman to start the game. Then he had some really hard contact off the bat of Tanner Smith. Let's just face it, got lucky with the location and a double play unassisted by the first baseman, Phillips, and then a home run. Since then, he's been spotless.
So Mosiello's going to face Zach Liu, who came through in the clutch last night to give Y-D 11-9 lead over Orleans. A 2 RBI single in the bottom of the 7th, which kind of worked as the bottom of the 9th since it was the last inning of that game. And Zach Liu came through after Chase Luttrell tied it. Liu was the hero last night, giving Y-D the lead as he fouls it away to the left side. A big-time clutch play by Mr. Liu, and he's shown it on the other side today, flashing the leather. Playing shortstop moving from third to short here for today's contest. Played third a lot at Cal State Fullerton as well. But at the plate now with a 1-ball, 2-strike count, and the pitch from Mosiello misses outside.
And Will, in the context of the CCBL season, there's never been a better time to be Zach Liu, right? He's playing a great defense. He's playing well at third. Gets, in my opinion, promoted in a way to short. And he has 3 hits over his past 2 games, with this one as the exception.
Popped up right side. And gloved by Max Codier over at second base, 2 outs. But you're saying about Liu,
he's playing well. He's hitting well. He came up clutch yesterday, and the defense has been the common denominator, keeping him in the lineup and allowing him the opportunity and the at-bats to work out those early kinks.
Now Wyatt Hoffman, 2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the third, and pitch misses low. Hoffman leads the team with 7 doubles, also leads the team hitting above 300, the lone 300-plus hitter on the Red Sox. Atop Scott Pickler's order, and that's been something that's been changed over the past week. He's taken a hold of that leadoff spot. They've reconstructed the order that did belong to Peyton Graham for a while. But being the table setter for Y-D now on a 6-game hit streak. And the 2-0 pitch to Hoffman. Misses high. Mosiello now on a 3-ball, no strike count. He has recorded 3 strikeouts today, and he did a good job this past season of getting the strikeouts and limiting the walks. As the 3-0 to Hoffman, hit hard left side, free swinging on 3-0, cheating on the fastball, and he fouls it away, pulls it foul.
I don't know if we've actually seen a green light given by Pickler this year on 3-0. But if you're going to give it to anyone, it's got to be Wyatt Hoffman, right?
Yeah, that light was neon green, it seemed like, for Hoffman. He didn't think twice about, hey, if I'm going to get something hard, I'm going to hit it. He was cheating on the fastball and pulled it.
Right. It also makes sense in this situation as he walks there on 2 outs, because there are 2 outs. So you have to figure, okay, a 2-out walk, it helps, but you're shooting for that double, right? The thing that's going to put you 1 hit away from driving in the second run, not a double, or rather a walk to set the table for maybe something that can give you an RBI spot.
So Tanner Smith comes to the plate for the second time. Last time, hit it hard to first base, but Dylan Phillips stepped on the bag and it was a double play after Wyatt Hoffman led off the bottom of the first with a single. Tanner Smith hit into a double play and they both were off the base paths. But Hoffman on for a second time today. And Mosiello, 52 strikeouts to just 8 walks and 39 1/3 this past season at Oregon. As Tanner Smith hits it hard down the right field line, foul again. Trying to see his collegiate teammate well. I'm sure these two have battled in intra-squad scrimmages at Oregon over the past 2 seasons, both donning their different Ducks cleats. As Smith fouls it off himself. And whose do you pick are better?
I was just going to ask. I'm not kidding. I was just going to ask. In the spirit of Oregon, you have to judge which ones are better. Okay. You want my honest opinion? Mosiello.
I mean, I don't want you not to be honest.
Okay, Mosiello. You're going with Oregon green. It's got to be green. It's got to pop, right? It has to pop.
And Tanner Smith donning with the Oregon Duck and the Nike swoosh as he fouls it away.
Well, what do you think?
I like Mosiello's. They look nice. They're sharp, and especially with the high socks. I mean, you're seeing the entire shoe. When you have some nice kicks, might as well let them fly.
I don't want to cheat Nike there, that's for sure.
A ball and 2 strikes to Tanner Smith. It's the 2 Oregon Ducks battling at the plate. Tanner Smith hits it left side, and it is caught in center field. Nearly a collision between Chris Newell and Press Kavanaugh. He's able to be gloved in left field for the 3rd out. Tanner Smith retired. No runs, no hits, one left on, and after 3, it's a 2-1 lead for Harwich. To the 4th we go on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Will Connerly with you alongside Mr. Brad Klein, and it's the top of the 4th. A 2-1 lead for Harwich. Luis Ramirez on the mound here to begin his 4th inning of work. And his 58th pitch called for a strike. Here to press Kavanaugh. UNC Greensboro outfielder playing left field today, and the frame ended with him and Chris Newell getting in each other's bubbles, but Newell was able to catch it and retire Tanner Smith to end last half inning, and now in a 0-2 count.
That might be the best slider that we've seen from Luis Ramirez today, right there.
0-2. Fastball fouled away right side.
And so far, the only run support Ramirez has gotten is that Dominic Keegan home run, and if you missed it, go check it out on Twitter, YD_Red Sox, courtesy of our social media manager, Hannah Turilli.
Yeah, keep up with the team and
keep up with the Turilli.
That ball hit hard right side, back on it. Crew Robinson at the fence, and it's off the top of the wall. Crew Robinson picks it up, but it's Press Kavanaugh who motors into second base. He has himself a leadoff double in the top of the 4th, hitting .333 on the year, and the average going up his 2nd time aboard today.
Press Kavanaugh continues to hit, and he continues to hit against the righties too, and that one he took for a ride. I thought it was out, and Crew Robinson did too. I don't think he played it off the wall very well. In fact, if the wall was an actual wall, not the fence, it would have taken a really, really bad carom and trickled past the fence, or rather closer to home plate, probably 10 or 15 feet more, but the fence, the chain link, caused it to die, but Robinson against the wall on a ball he couldn't catch.
Yeah, Kavanaugh hit .230 this past season, but had 8 home runs. Good power, led the team in walks, got on base a decent amount as the first pitch taken for a strike by Jordan Back. But Ramirez surrendering another extra base hit. That's his 3rd extra base hit surrendered here during this outing, as the right-hander's working here in the top of the 4th, and he moves to the stretch after surrendering the leadoff double to Press Kavanaugh. And Jordan back at the plate, grounded right side. Kavanaugh will advance. Keegan at first, stays down on it and steps on the bag for the first out. Keegan able to glove that with no issues over at first base. And Dylan Phillips now to the plate. Phillips had his 2nd hit of the season in the 2nd inning. And then Harwich stranded, the bases loaded as the infield comes in for Y-D. With Kavanaugh at third base, a 2-1 lead for the Mariners. Swing and a miss on a changeup, first pitch to Dylan Phillips. So he gets ahead once again. Phillips, the left-handed hitter out of Kansas State, at 16 home runs in 2021. As that ball by Cody Huff blocked it and kept it in front of him. Was able to retrieve it back to Luis Ramirez as it missed low, a ball and a strike. Phillips is fourth all-time in program history at Kansas State with 31 home runs, and he's also been on the mound during his career. Not going to pitch for Harwich this summer as he swings through the off-speed pitch from Ramirez, a ball and 2 strikes. Played in the Northwoods League last summer and was an all Big 12 second team selection this past year. An Omaha, Nebraska native, Dylan Phillips, in his third game with Harwich. Offering misses low, count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here in an Eastern Division battle, top of the 4th. A 2-1 lead for Harwich, but they have another run looking to extend their lead on third. Swing and a miss, and Ramirez gets the strikeout as Phillips goes down swinging. Now there's 2 outs.
That is a huge strikeout for Luis Ramirez, and probably his second biggest pitch of the day. The first being the double play he got to strand the bases loaded in the second. But you're one sharply hit ground ball, one fly ball away from being down by 2 in an offense that didn't support you your last time out and hasn't supported you much this year.
4 punch outs for Ramirez, and now Max Codier comes to the plate. Had a double in the second, and he grounds it up to Zach Liu at short. Across the diamond to Keegan, and Codier is retired. 1 hit, no runs, and 1 runner stranded in the top of the 4th. It's a 2-1 lead for Harwich. To the bottom frame of the 4th we go next on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Dominic Keegan to lead off the bottom of the 4th. He hit a home run in the bottom of the 1st. Second consecutive day, he's gone dead center field. First pitch taken inside. His first back-to-back home run game since May 4th and 7th when he hit a home run against Louisville and then Alabama the next game. And he has back-to-back bombs here for Y-D in the past 2 days as he takes a strike.
And even Brooks Lee, when he was here, wasn't hitting home runs at that rate. And no one expects Keegan to keep this up, but if he can insert some power into this lineup, that would be huge.
The 1-1. Misses low and outside. And Brooks Lee did have 3 home runs in his final 4 games with the Y-D Red Sox.
Sure, yes, he did. But that's not his bread and butter. And Dominic Keegan can really make his name as a power hitter, and that's something this lineup has lacked.
The 2-1. Chopped left side. Wilkin over at third lets it go foul. And it is his thing, but he's also one of the top hitters in the SEC in terms of average as well. He's a great all-around hitter. As Dominic Keegan still batting, just a foul ball to the left side. Hit .345, which was 7th in the SEC. 15 home runs at Vanderbilt, and he's had 2 in the past 2 games. For Y-D, had a multi-hit performance yesterday, now 3 for 9 in his young career as a Red Sox, and hitting here with 2 balls and 2 strikes, nobody out, bottom of the 4th. Pitch misses outside. The interesting thing about Keegan is during his season with the Commodores, he actually missed 10 games with COVID. He tested positive, and he was really hot at the time that he got COVID. He was one of the hottest hitters in the country as that ball is grounded over to Preisner at short across the diamond, and he's retired. And when you do miss games, that's one thing, but it also, you got to take into the account of getting back into it, getting your timing back. And that's what a lot of these hitters have to do, getting 10, 20, 25 at-bats so they can adjust to the wood bat, they can adjust to the pitching and playing every day.
Timing and feel is everything in baseball. It's a lot like a shooter in basketball. You just can't do it unless you do it, right? And Dom Keegan, to still have 15 home runs and to still hit at the clip that he did at Vanderbilt with everything he was dealt and the health issues he had prior to the season, it's really incredible, and it speaks to him.
Cody Huff lasers this one to left field, but a play made on the move by Press Kavanaugh, and there's 2 away. And
that one had backspin on it. If he had front spin, that one was going to be down and probably get to the wall, but it hung up for Kavanaugh.
Mosiello making quick work. The first 2 outs, Keegan and Huff retired and Chase Luttrell to the plate, who hit the ball well to right field last time up. And pitch misses upstairs, and the story about Keegan is just so miraculous of what he's been able to do. It's a great story of determination about the health issues that he was dealt and how he's been able to come back through that and pursue a career at the next level after his days playing at the collegiate level are done. Someone who has a very bright future, and we've been able to witness that with his ability behind the plate and his athleticism at first and the bat that he has as Luttrell chops it. Mosiello to first, and he retires Y-D in order in the 4th. A 2-1 lead for Harwich after 4 innings. We send it to the 5th on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Top of the fifth here at Red Wilson Field. A 2-1 lead for Harwich. Alongside Brad Klein, Will Connerly with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. A 2-1 lead for Harwich. In the first, the teams traded some home runs. It was Chris Newell who got on the board in the top of the first, and then Dominic Keegan in the bottom frame of the first had himself a home run. And then in the top of the second, Harwich scored. It was an RBI double by Max Codier. And the score has stood ever since. Harwich tallied that run in the top of the second. Here, top of the fifth, Luis Ramirez facing off against 9-1-2 in the Harwich order. The 0-2 to Preisner. Swing and a miss. Ramirez got him on the slider, his fifth strikeout. And there's one away in the top of the fifth.
Number 2, Tatum Levens.
Ramirez at 72 pitches right now as he fires the first pitch in for a strike to Tatum Levens. The most he's thrown in an outing so far this summer has been 85. And Y-D trying to get another inning out of him if he should complete the fifth and get the next 2 outs. That would be 5 starts for Luis Ramirez that have all been quality. He's gone 5 or more with 3 earned runs or less. If he should get the next 2 outs, and his night would be done with some preliminary action in the bullpen for Y-D. As down there, Jacob Metter getting hot. Just tossing right now. That'll be 5 starts for Luis Ramirez where he's given the ball club a chance to get a victory. With the quality starts he's put together. Grounded right side. Wyatt Hoffman, the second baseman, gets rid of it quickly over to first, and Dominic Keegan fumbles it at first, and Tatum Levens gets aboard. Kind of went in and out of the leather on that play.
That's a weird play because typically you see the ball pop out of a mitt if it's an underhanded attempt at a catch, but Keegan bent his knees like he was supposed to and caught it with his wrist down rather than up, and fundamentally did everything he was supposed to do, just couldn't execute. But back to Ramirez, you know, the quality starts is a good stat, but I think quality length is something that you have to look at as well.
Grounded right side to Hoffman. Goes over to short to Lou. They get the lead runner, and there's 2 outs. And you mentioned quality length as in what?
As in, the bullpen is not going to be pressed when Luis Ramirez is starting. He's gone at least 5 in all of his starts, and it looks like he's destined to continue that and maybe even then some, depending on what he does after, if at all. But he's in the 5th now, and he's pitching well. I expect him to get out of this inning and get through 5. And you know, Jacob Metter will take you a couple of innings, but you think of other guys like Adam Meyer, for example, who a lot of people think is throwing the ball very well. And there was a start, he didn't make it out of the 3rd.
Ball popped up by Wilkin. Bowser under it. Wilkin retired. Snow cone catch by Drew Bowser over at 3rd. But you'll take it any way you can get as Brock Wilkin retired. And in the middle of the 5th, a 2-1 lead for Harwich. As Luis Ramirez gets through 5 and maybe more, we'll find out next on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, and Peyton Graham going to be leading off the fifth inning, the bottom of the fifth for Y-D. Hitting in the spot of Crew Robinson, who struck out in his first at-bat. Peyton Graham, though, 6 for 12 in 3 games against Harwich. 6 of his 20 hits on the season have come against Harwich. He hits righties well. So 1 at-bat for Crew Robinson. And they put Peyton Graham into the lineup. Rare off day, we thought, for him, but coming off the bench and leading off the bottom of the fifth, hitting .246 on the year with 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. The Oklahoma Sooner facing off against Andrew Mosiello, who only needed 60 pitches to get through 4 innings.
And I'm surprised to see Crew Robinson out of this game after just 1 at-bat. And Peyton Graham playing makes sense, but didn't look like Robinson was hurt. Of course, we can't speculate. It's a weird time to take him out.
Pitch misses outside, but it works out. Peyton Graham gets the free pass. He leads the team with 11 walks drawn as he gets the free pass, reaches base, and 11 walks drawn. Important for Y-D. They've only drawn 53 walks through 23 games played coming into today, which is by far the worst mark in the league. The second least amount of walks is 70, drawn by Orleans, 17 more than the Red Sox. So the walks have been few for Y-D coming into this game. Just against Harwich alone, 40 times the team has struck out with just 3 walks drawn. And the strikeout to walk ratio at the plate not too favorable for Y-D. But Graham getting aboard with his team leading 11th. And maybe that's a reason they want him to get in. They know he hits well against righties, well at home, well against Harwich, and wanting to get him an at-bat after Crew Robinson struck out in his first at-bat. So Graham is aboard. A leadoff base runner for Drew Bowser, the 1-1. Breaking ball misses low. And Mosiello, the Oregon Duck, went 5 1/3 and didn't surrender an earned run on the 12th of July at Chatham. Working here in the bottom of the fifth. With no serious action in Harwich's bullpen, you wonder how long the right-hander will go. He limited his pitch count through 4 innings, but surrendering the leadoff walk. Facing against Bowser, the 1-2. Bowser hits that ball to left field. It's down, and Peyton Graham advances to second base. So something's brewing for the Red Sox. Runners on first and second with nobody out. Down by 1 in the bottom of the fifth.
Well, Bowser seems like he's finally come into his own, and a guy that hit over 300 at Stanford. Everyone was expecting him to really contribute for Y-D, and now he is.
He saw the ball well there and hit it hard to left field, and now Cade Hunter coming up. With runners on first and second, nobody out. Corners pinching in. And Cade Hunter squaring around a bunt, then pulls back. Ball 1.
Oh, that's the right baseball move. As a catcher, you don't know how much bunting Hunter's done in his collegiate career, but he does run very well.
Bowser now with 3 hits in the past 4 games after a slow start. Pulls it back. 2 balls, no strikes.
And after 2 bunt attempts, now the corners are more than privy to the concept. So you have to wonder if the bunt is still on. I would still go with the bunt and get it to the left side. As a lefty, it shouldn't be a problem for Hunter.
Squares around. Misses on the attempt. Strike 1. So Cade Hunter at the plate. The 9th place hitter in the order, Zach Liu, is on deck. Runners on first and second with a 2-ball, 1-strike count and nobody out. In the bottom of the fifth, Peyton Graham, the tying run for Y-D, in scoring position. Hunter pulls back, but it's a strike called, and now 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the idea to bunt is to advance the runners to second and third from first and second. But now with 2 strikes, that seems to be out of the equation. The 2-2. Misses low, count runs full.
Well, Hunter took that low fastball, and he thought it was going to be low enough for a ball, and it was called a strike, and he took it away because he thought it was going to be a ball, but sometimes the low pitches, even if they're below the strike zone, are the easiest ones to bunt.
Those high pitches, sometimes you can pop up exactly what you don't want to do in those situations. As Cade Hunter hits that ball to the right side, Peyton Graham tacking up from second. Good throw in from Newell from center field, but Graham's able to get to second, or third in time rather, and it's Bowser who can advance to second. So it basically works out as your bunt. The result of the at-bat when you wanted Cade Hunter to drop it down was get the runners to second and third. Cade Hunter's at-bat is through, and runners are on second and third, with Graham tagging up from center and then Bowser advancing on the throw.
Ooh, I don't know if Scott Pickler's going to feel that way, though, because one really good throw from Chris Newell could have really put a dent in this inning for Y-D, and it was a good throw. The tag by Wilkin was unable to be applied. I think a good tag might have had Graham, and Drew Bowser moved over to second only because the throw got away slightly from Wilkin and trickled down the third base line.
Well, Scott Pickler, six-time Cape Cod League champion, he's primarily focused on results, and the result of that play does work out in terms of having success for Y-D. Now you've got Zach Liu in a big spot, just like he was in the bottom of the seventh last night. He had to come through with the game tied at 9-9 and hit a ball up the middle to score 2 runs and give Y-D 11-9 lead. Now he's waiting to hit after a long conference on the mound with runners in scoring position right now at second and third. Through 9 at-bats on the season with runners in scoring position, he has 3 RBIs and hitting .222 in those situations. 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position. So the corners will come in. The middle infield will go back with runners on second and third and 1 away. First pitch misses low. Tatum Levin's able to gather. Luis Ramirez giving Y-D yet again another quality start. 5+, less than 3 earned allowed. As he just surrendered 2 earned runs today, while recording 5 punch-outs. The ball fouled right side, but no action right now in Y-D's bullpen. There was some. Makes you believe that Luis Ramirez is going back out there, and if Zach Liu can come through, he'd be going out there with the lead. A ball and a strike, runners on second and third. Now there is action in the pen for Harwich after that long mound visit. Zach Liu dropped it down. Peyton Graham coming home to play at the plate. And he got him. The flip up by Dylan Phillips over to the catcher, Tatum Levins. Tag is applied and the suicide squeeze to no avail for Y-D. 2 outs, runners on the corner.
Liu swinging the bat really well. I would have liked to see him swing there, and Wilkin, or rather Phillips, moving in as a first baseman, playing in on the corners, was anticipating the bunt and played it really well.
But here comes Wyatt Hoffman with runners on base, hitting .632 with runners aboard, the best mark in the league. He's got runners on the corners right now. So Y-D and Wyatt Hoffman still licking their chops with 2 outs, runners on the corners, 90 feet away the tying run. Wyatt Hoffman at the plate in situations like these where he's been so successful as the breaking ball misses low. And for Hoffman, it's not a small sample size hitting .632 with runners in scoring position. In 19 at-bats, He's posted that mark, the 2-0. Called for strike one. Y-D's leadoff hitter hitting with ducks on the pond. Runners on first and third with 2 outs. A 2-ball, 1-strike count to the middle infielder from Pacific. Mosiello, the offering. The 2-1 on the inside corner. As Mosiello looking to record the final out and complete 5 innings of work. And Wyatt Hoffman at the plate trying to tie the ball game. The 2-2. Hoffman pops it up, right side. Jordan back under it in right field. And he moves over to his left, retires Hoffman. The side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 left on for Y-D. After 5, it's a 2-1 lead for Harwich. We send it to the 6th on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Luis Ramirez on the mound. First offering hit left side in a single. So Luis Ramirez back out for another inning of work. Top of the 6th, a 2-1 lead for Harwich.
Left fielder number 29, Kavanaugh.
After Y-D had an opportunity last inning, Wyatt Hoffman popped up to right field to end the frame. Carter putts, press Kavanaugh and Jordan back. At the plate. Here in the 6th is Luis Ramirez trying to get through 6 innings with some action. Jacob Metter getting loose in Y-D's bullpen. So Chase Luttrell, after Peyton Graham came in last inning, he's going to move to right. And Peyton Graham will now be in center field. After Carter Putz had a single to begin the 6th, and press Kavanaugh at the plate. 2 balls, no strikes. So Briley Knight subs in for Peyton Graham, and he's actually in center field. So after Peyton Graham came in, pinch hit, got aboard, and then was thrown out at the plate, his night is through. He's actually subbed out for Briley Knight. Briley Knight in center field. And in right is Chase Luttrell. With Luis Ramirez still on the mound, and now a 3-ball, no-strike count. Strike 1 to press Kavanaugh, who's 1 for 1. had a double in the fourth and reached a board on a hit by pitch in the second, hitting .333 on the season. 3 balls and a strike to Kavanaugh. Carter Putz, the second team All ACC athlete at Notre Dame, the designated hitter for Harwich, started the inning with a hit, and Press Kavanaugh follows with a free pass. So trouble to begin the sixth for Luis Ramirez, and Scott Pickler's seen enough. He wants to go to the bullpen. They gave Ramirez a shot here in the sixth, but he goes 5+, 5 complete innings of work for Luis Ramirez. His line is not through. It's a call to the bullpen to finish up this frame, and we'll tell you about the reliever on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network next. Enter Jacob Metter, the TCU right-hander on the mound, making his 8th appearance of the summer after Luis Ramirez goes 5 innings, and Jacob Metter now on the mound. His last appearance came on the 16th against Bourne, went 1 inning. It was a scoreless frame, went 1-2-3 with 2 strikeouts during that outing. And he has pitched against Harwich a couple times. He actually came in early in the Harwich game and went 4 innings when Y-D lost 5-3. And their 1 loss in the 3 meetings against Harwich when Franklin didn't get out of the first, and it was Metter who picked up 4 innings out of the bullpen. But now Jordan Beck at the plate with runners on first and second, nobody out. Top of the 6th, and it's Harwich looking to extend on their 1-run lead. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Jacob Metter, 1 win, no losses, a 5.92 ERA, 13 2/3 tossed this summer, 16 strikeouts and just 4 walks.
And you mentioned back to that first Harwich game he pitched, and rather the last one, the one where he came in and Zach Franklin couldn't do much for himself, 4 innings pitched. This is a completely different situation.
Pitch up and in, yeah, now Jacob Metter, instead of trying to give Y-D some length, He's in the top of the 6th, and it's a one-run ball game. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Jacob Metter, he's kind of been the Swiss Army knife out of the pen. He's gone 3 innings once, 4 innings once, 2 innings, and then he's also had short relief appearances as well. Came out of the pen in long relief, and then also as a setup guy, as the tight slider is in there for strike 2. First batter he faces is Jordan Beck. Whatever happens the rest of this frame, it's another solid performance by Luis Ramirez. All 5 starts, he's gone 5+. And the ace of the Y-D Red Sox, he's keeping himself atop the rotation with his performances. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the pitch popped up. Right side. Chase Luttrell over in right. And he catches it in right field after Briley Knight traveled a ways over by Luttrell in right and retired. And we mentioned that Peyton Graham came in last inning to pinch hit for Crew Robinson. So that made some gymnastics in terms of the defensive alignment for Y-D. But Peyton Graham, last inning, seemed like a finger injury occurred with him. He was pulled from the game. They put Briley Knight in center field and moved Luttrell to right field.
And you just hope that Peyton Graham's okay. Didn't even start the game, and he's so important to what Y-D can be later on this year.
Popped up. Yeah, he had 2 headfirst slides throughout the duration of that inning when he tagged up from second. On the Cade Hunter pop out, or fly out rather, to center field, and then came home diving. We sincerely hope the Oklahoma Sooner Peyton Graham is okay. And provide updates when we know more information. Nothing in 1 the count with Dylan Phillips at the plate. He's 1 for 2 today. And he hits that ball hard to center. It's down. Briley Knight gathers it on a hop and throws it home. With it cut off by Keegan, so Harwich goes station to station, and they've got the bases loaded and 1 out.
Second baseman, number 6, Max Codier.
So Max Codier comes up, had an RBI double in the second. And when he had that RBI double, it made the score 2-1. Well, it's 2-1 still now in the top of the 6th, but he has a chance to extend the lead for Harwich with the bases loaded. But Briley Knight doing a good job there of getting to that ball quickly and throwing it in quick amount of time to not allow Carter Putz to come around to score. With the bases loaded, Putz at third, Kavanaugh at second, and Phillips at first. Max Codier at the plate. 1 for 2 today, 4 hits so far on the summer. Had his first RBI back in the second on the season. Pitch, outside corner, strike 1.
And Harwich has already stranded 4 runners in scoring position. That's a big number. A lot of runners close to scoring that you couldn't bring home. And Codier, with his RBI double, is trying to fight that, but he was one of those runners stranded.
After the 4-6-3 double play that ended the second, Metter breaking ball, strike 2. Breaking ball from Metter has looked pretty solid today. The TCU right-hander showcasing a nice breaking ball. Burleson, Texas is his hometown. The 0-2. Fouled away. Jacob Metter, speaking of the Mariners battling against the Harwich Mariners, he was drafted in the 31st round of the 2019 MLB draft by the Mariners after he posted 14 wins on the mound as a senior. But then opted to take his talents to TCU, has pitched there a few seasons, and now on the Cape as he comes set with a 0-2 count to Max Codier. Swing and a miss, and Jacob Metter gets the strikeout. Now 1 pitch away from getting out of the jam. Harwich has stranded the bases loaded already 1 time today.
And And if you're the Mariners, stranding the bases loaded twice would almost feel like a backbreaker at that point, especially when you had bases loaded 1 out both times.
Zach Preisner with the bases loaded, pops up, first pitch, right side, Wyatt Hoffman under it, in shallow right field, and the bases loaded, stranded. Jacob Metter comes in and strands 3 runners on the base paths. And in the middle of the 6th, it's a 2-1 lead for Harwich. To the bottom of the 6th we go on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, and Andrew Mosiello gave Harwich a great outing. 5 innings and just 1 earned run, 3 hits allowed, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. His night is through. And now the ball is turned over to the left-hander, Dalton Smith. 12 1/3 toss this summer and a 6.57 ERA. Facing off against Tanner Smith, who's hitting .250 against lefties, which is the best mark for a left-handed hitter on Y-D's roster. Pitch misses outside. The 6th appearance for Dalton Smith, the hard-throwing left-hander out of Georgia Tech. Fastball up to 95. So breaking ball in there for a strike. Two balls and 2 strikes.
Change-up, and it looked like a really, really slow change-up at like low 80s. That's a big difference from his fastball.
Another off-speed pitch that's upstairs to Tanner Smith.
With the IDAR.
And 2 strikes.
I gave you the IDAR.
With the IDAR. Low 80s. And a flail at the 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. On the swing from Tanner Smith. 1 out.
First baseman, number 12, Dominic Keegan.
Dominic Keegan to the plate with 1 out. Nobody on. Bottom of the 6th after Tanner Smith struck out swinging against the lefty. Dalton Smith His last appearance at Hyannis, went 2 innings and surrendered 4 earned runs on the 16th. He's had his first appearance of the year, he surrendered 5 earned runs. Dominic Keegan fouls it to the right side. And then had 3 scoreless outings against Chatham, Wareham, and then Chatham again. But then surrendered 4 earned runs against Hyannis and has surrendered 9 earned runs on the season, but they've all come in 2 different outings. Had 3 2/3 scoreless against Chatham on the 12th as Dominic Keegan fouls it. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Keegan with the home run earlier in this game. He's 1 for 2. Back-to-back days with a home run for the Vanderbilt product. And he takes strike 3, back-to-back strikeouts for the lefty. 1 swinging. Dominic Keegan gets caught looking, and there's 2 outs. Y-D, they do struggle against left-handers as a team.
As a team, they're hitting .202 against lefties, .242 against righties.
Which is a very dramatic split. And with their left-handed hitters like the Chase Luttrells, who's hit the lefties a little better, the Tanner Smiths, they've hit the lefties a little better, but as a team, the Southpaws have given them some problems. And even think in recent outings, what you had Orleans, the left-hander out of Arkansas, going 5 innings out of the bullpen. Bryce Hubbard shutting Y-D down to open up the game for Brewster. And Cody Huff hits it on the screws again. Can't find any luck. He's squaring everything up today, but he's retired for the 3rd time. He lines out to shortstop. Through 6, it's a 2-1 lead for Harwich. We set it to the 7th next on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network.
Local toy store.
Top of the 7th inning on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network with Will Connerly. I'm Brad Klein, and Harwich here goes with Tatum Levens, the lefty catcher, and a leadoff man for the Mariners, hitting .355 against righties, and he's facing a righty, Jacob Metter, on in his 2nd inning of relief from TCU. He cleaned up the mess that he inherited from Luis Ramirez. Runners on 1st and 2nd, did give up a single to Dylan Phillips, but that didn't result in anything. A slowly hit ground ball over to Wyan Hoffman at 2nd. He gathers, he lofts over to 1st in time. 1 away.
Levens atop the order, hitting above 300 coming into this game. Over his last 10, he was hitting .324, but now 0 for 4 in this game, Y-D's been able to pitch to him pretty effectively, and that's huge, getting the leadoff guy out.
So here's Chris Newell, who homered in the first inning, the second batter of the game. Since then, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And Jacob Metter had a 19.29 ERA in the shortened 2020, but picked it up a little bit. Of course, it was a limited sample size, 2 1/3 innings pitched. 5.68 ERA in 2021 with an even 19 innings under his belt. And the 1-0 checked his swing. Did he go? He did.
Man, he was a highly touted guy, drafted out of high school.
Chris Newell was drafted out of high school as well in the 37th round in 2019 by the Cardinals. And Newell watches the fastball right down Broadway, 1-2.
Yeah, Metter was 31st round that same year. He was ranked as the number 21 overall draft prospect in the state of Texas, but took his talents to TCU instead.
And the pitch to Newell, taken inside for ball 2. So Chris Newell's home run shouldn't come as much of a surprise because he hits his extra base hits at nearly double the rate on the road compared to home. And Newell swings and misses. Down goes Newell for the second out of the 7th and the second strikeout of the day for the lefty.
Yeah, and you mentioned it doesn't come as a surprise with that stat right there, but also I was a little surprised because he's known for being a solid hitter, but in 76 career games at Virginia, only had 4 home runs. But now, on his 12th game with Harwich this summer, he has 3 home runs. So showing some pop, getting in the lineup every day. He is someone who is big time, but this guy, he's someone with some power.
Yeah, if you want a surprise, how about Brock Wilken is 0 for 3 today with a strikeout. This is a guy who has a .615 on-base percentage against the Red Sox. No balls and 1 strike on the knee-high fastball. He's hitting .347 against righties and .286 against lefties. He's hitting everything. He's seeing a beach ball out there, and he nubs a line drive over to Briley Knight. On the run, he makes the catch in center field. Side retired. So Brock Wilken couldn't volley, set, spike, whatever you want with that beach ball on the pitch by Jacob Metter. And Metter sends down the Mariners in order. 1-2-3. It's stretch time at Red Wilson Field, and Harwich leads Y-D 2-1. We'll be back in a moment right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Bottom of the 7th inning on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. We have ourselves a lefty-lefty matchup with Y-D down by 1. Chase Littrell, the lefty from Long Beach State, leading off. And Littrell is 0 for 2 on the day, hitting .241 against the lefties. Dalton Smith, the lefty, gets Littrell to pop up to center field, make that left field, and on to make the catch is Press Kavanaugh for out number 1.
Yeah, Dalton Smith, the lefty, out of Georgia Tech. He plays with some other players from Tech who've been in the Cape. Kevin Parada, of course, the first name that comes to mind, who was at Chatham, and the catcher then took his talents to Team USA, but also Drew Compton, who played a little bit with Y-D then moved over to Katue.
So here's Briley Knight, no balls and one strike. Make it 0-2. Waving at the outside stuff that Smith is spoon-feeding him. Knight hitting 158 against lefties. He's 2 for his last 21 and came in after Peyton Graham hurt his finger running the bases. Down goes Knight on 3 pitches, 2 away. 3 of the past 5 outs that Y-D batters have recorded have come via strikeout.
Number 2, Drew Bowser.
And it's 5 in a row for Dalton Smith, the Valdosta, Georgia native, looking really good out of the bullpen.
Brings up Drew Bowser. 1 ball and no strikes to the Stanford Cardinal. Dalton Smith at 6'1", 215, delivers a fastball at the knees for strike 1.
He had a really good COVID year with a 1.88 ERA.
Grounded sharply into left field, a 2-out single for Drew Bowser, and Y-D has some life in the bottom of the 7th.
Another multi-hit day for Bowser. We've talked about how he's starting to come around, and he really is. You look at the average, and it could be low, but he now has hit safely in 3 of the past 4 games, and 2 of those games are multi-hit performances for Drew Bowser. Had the home run and the 2-hit performance against Bourne. And this week, he's really turned it on after getting his first hit of the year against Brewster.
Meanwhile, Pascal Ferreras comes on to hit in the Cade Hunter, Peyton Graham, no, not the Peyton Graham spot, but in Cade Hunter's spot. And he fouls off the first pitch from Dalton Smith. Ferreras waves at the second one, 0-2. Now Pascal Ferreras from Western Carolina, hitting 176 against the Southpaws, and the fastball way high elevates Levens 1-2. Ferreras is 1 for 11 against Harwich this year. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hurt his knee a couple of games ago on a self-induced foul ball. Hasn't started since. And goes down swinging for the strikeout. That's 4 strikeouts in 2 innings of work for Dalton Smith. And Y-D strands a runner in the 7th inning. At the end of 7, they're still down by 1, heading to the top of the 8th now, right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Top of the 8th inning on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network with Will Connerly. I'm Brad Klein. Jacob Metter still working for the Red Sox in relief of Luis Ramirez, who went 5+ innings, gave up 2 runs, both earned 5 hits, 5 strikeouts and 2 walks. And Metter so far has gone 2 scoreless, allowing 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. Came in the 5th inning and helped, or rather the 6th inning, to help out Luis Ramirez, who gave up 2 base runners to start and a quick exit in the 6th. That one socked to center field off the bat of Carter Putz, and under it to make the catch is Briley Knight.
And getting that out here in his 3rd inning of work now out of the bullpen, that's the 3rd time this year in 8 appearances that Metter has gone more than 2 innings out of the bullpen. He's doing a fine job in providing some length. Even though it's getting to the later stages, it's nice to have a guy like Jacob Metter who can get some outs at a high level in a close game and still go multiple innings.
Well, Jacob Metter has been used in so many different ways. He's been used as a length guy. He's been used as a guy who comes in pressure situations and everywhere in between. And Steve Engler, the manager for the Mariners, comes out to have a word with Press Kavanaugh, the left fielder who doubled in the 4th inning. Walked and was hit by a pitch in his other 2 plate appearances. No balls and a strike to Kavanaugh. Hitting .448 against righties going into this game, and Kavanaugh pops it foul out of play.
But length is no stranger to Jacob Metter. He did make 4 starts for TCU and did throw 6 2/3 against Stephen F. Austin, so he can go deep.
Breaking ball, strike 3 on the swing. There goes Press Kavanaugh, and the 3rd strikeout of the day for Jacob Metter.
And Metter doing a nice job. We've talked about his ability to come in situations like this. It's so crucial to have a guy like this, and it's kind of what he did for TCU as well. He had 6 appearances out of the bullpen, but also made 4 starts. And for Y-D, someone you could potentially think maybe he could be a guy that you could potentially throw in the rotation at some point in the future.
Here's Jordan Beck on the foul ball, quickly behind, and Beck is an interesting case because at 6'3", 210, he has the frame of a basketball player, and that's no accident. He was an elite high school basketball player, earned all-state honors, and ended up sharing a backcourt with Kyra Lewis Jr., who now plays for the New Orleans Pelicans. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs with no one on, and Harwich leading by 1. That one driven to left field. Smith jogs under it, and he's there to make the catch, side retired. Jacob Metter now with 3 scoreless innings under his belt, only 1 hit allowed, and 3 strikeouts to boot. In the middle of the 8th, Harwich 2, Y-D 1, right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Bottom of the 8th inning on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Brad Klein with Will Connerly, and Y-D down by 1. Their only run came in the first inning off the bat of Dominic Keegan, a home run solo shot to center field, and Zach Lou, the 9th-place hitter, takes the first pitch fastball for strike 1 from Dalton Smith, the junior from Georgia Tech, who's coming off a 5-run, 2-inning performance against Hyannis, and Lou pops it up right field. It's caught by Jordan Beck for the first out. So Zach Lou is 0 for 3 today. Flip the lineup card to the top. Wyatt Hoffman's turn with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th.
Y-D trying to come through again in the late innings, and down 9-5 last night, scoring 6 runs in the bottom of the 7th. They don't have as much room, much ground to make up tonight, just trailing by a run.
Wyatt Hoffman quickly ahead, 2-0. Well, Hoffman, he reached on an error in that 7th inning, ended up scoring 1 of the 6 runs, but batted twice and lined out in the 2nd. 3 balls and no strikes. Get me over fastball does that. 3-1, 1 out, no one on, and Y-D down 2-1. Wyatt Hoffman is 1 for 2 on the day with a single and a walk. And now behind, or rather even, 3 balls and 2 strikes. From the University of the Pacific, he grounds it to the left side. Could be a tough play for Preisner. Backhand throw in time, got him. What a play by Zach Preisner, ranging to his right from the shortstop hole, and gets the speedy Wyatt Hoffman for the 2nd out in the bottom of the 8th.
Really, really impressive play right there by Preisner. Does a great job, a super strong throw, and he had to throw it strong because you mentioned Hoffman was giving it a hard 90 down the first base line. Preisner, the shortstop who hits 9th in the order for Harwich, coming up with a huge play right there.
So Dalton Smith is now seen the entirety of the Y-D order. The first batter he faced in the 6th inning was Tanner Smith for a strikeout. And a changeup taken by Smith, the lefty from Oregon, who is 0 for 3 today, and slaps it foul down the 3rd base line. So 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs, no one on for Tanner Smith. Hit into a double play in the 1st inning. 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Grounded slowly over to first. A wacky hop for Dylan Phillips. He gathers, he flips, and Tanner Smith is still punched out. Phillips hacky sacks the loose ball and flips it over to the covering Dalton Smith in desperation mode for the final out of the inning. Side retired. Y-D sent down in order in the 8th inning. We go to the 9th with Harwich up by 1 right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. On the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, it's the top of the ninth inning. Brad Klein with you, and Y-D down by one. Jacob Metter is still on in relief of Luis Ramirez. And this is his fifth inning of work. To lead off the frame, it's Dylan Phillips. The lefty first baseman from Kansas State takes the breaking ball off the plate for ball one. Phillips already has 2 hits, 2 singles, one in the second and one in the sixth, sandwiched by a strikeout. Another breaking ball. There's the slider dropped into the zone, count even at 1-1. But Dylan Phillips at 6 foot 225, a junior for Kansas State. Big 12 all-second teamer this past year. Fouls it back to the screen, a ball and 2 strikes. Phillips made a great play at first base on a wacky hop over to him. An otherwise mundane ground ball off the bat of Tanner Smith in the last frame. 1-2 taken upstairs. So Metter just trying to keep Y-D within a run. It'll be 3-4-5 in the order in the bottom of the ninth. And the breaking ball is in there. Strike 3 called. Jacob Metter again doing what he does best. And that's his 5th strikeout of the day.
Number 6, Max Cotier.
Here comes Max Cotier from Virginia, who made his mark on the game with an RBI double. That came in his first at-bat in the second inning. Shows bunt, lays it down left side, fell. Drew Bowser touches it from third. Well, Cotier is really no stranger to summer ball. He played pretty well going into his freshman year at Virginia in the PGCBL for the Saugerties Stallions. Hit 249 there, and then went to Virginia and played, or rather 246, then went to Virginia and played some good baseball there. The college level, he's a 281 hitter in 2 years, including the shortened 2020 campaign when he hit 338. No balls, 2 strikes with 1 out, and no one on. Y-D down by 1. Cotier chops it foul. Now this is the 7th game for Cotier in a Harwich Mariners uniform. And he lines it back to the screen. Hitting a $150 for Harwich. And Jacob Metter so far so good. Trying to take Y-D to the promised land to the end and give the Red Sox a chance to win it. He's been so efficient and a strike thrower today. Coming up on his 37th pitch, there it is. It's lined back to the screen, and it's the 31st strike that Jacob Metter has thrown.
This is the best he's looked all year. The breaking ball is tight. He's filling up the strike zone. He's working through the order with efficiency, coming out of the bullpen, trying to complete his 4th inning of work in relief. He's been excellent today out of the bullpen. Really good work from Jacob Metter.
Wastes a pitch, a changeup off the plate. Cotier thinks better of it. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out.
I mean, the length that he's provided yet again, this would be a 2nd time out of the pen, 4 innings versus Harwich.
Cotier goes down swinging, the 6th strikeout of the day for Jacob Metter in relief.
Now batting, shortstop number 4, Zach Preisner.
The most he's had now in a game all season. He had 5 strikeouts in his first outing. It was the first game of the season. He went 3 innings, surrendered 1 earned run, had 5 strikeouts against Brewster. But now with 6, a new season high for Jacob Metter, and this is the best he's looked all season long.
And Harwich with their 10th strikeout as a team, that is exactly their average on the year. First pitch fastball inside to the 9th place hitter Zach Preisner. 0 for 2 with a walk in the second. You think about what Jacob Metter's performance today means, not just for the game itself, as Metter fields it cleanly himself, gloves the comebacker, and flips it over to first, side retired. 2 strikeouts and a great comebacker play by Jacob Metter sends Harwich down in order. And now we go to the bottom of the 9th, 3, 4, and 5 due up for Y-D. A chance to win it from Red Wilson Field. Bottom of the 9th inning on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein. Dominic Keegan homered in the first inning. Chance here in the 9th inning. Checked his swing, didn't go. Strike 1 delivered on the inside corner to Dalton Smith. And Keegan from Vanderbilt avoids the changeup inside. Count even at 1-1. Y-D down by 1. I mentioned the first and only run for Y-D came on the long ball to center field from Keegan, and he drives that one deep right field. Chris Newell on the track. It is gone! Dominic Keegan once again. That's the equalizer. 2-2 in the bottom of the 9th. It's a Tom bomb. Unbelievable performance for Dom Keegan. We're knotted up.
Unbelievable. Dominic Keegan, just fantastic performance. He knew it right off the bat. 3 home runs for Dominic Keegan on the summer. All 3 of them dead center field here at Red Wilson.
And now a chance for Cody Huff. Ball 1 taken. Dalton Smith had been cruising. 3 innings, only 1 hit allowed before the homer, and 4 strikeouts. Breaking ball upstairs for ball 2. Well, now it's tied, and statistically speaking, there's a good chance it stays that way. As Huff drives that one to left field, it is foul. Cody Huff tattooed every seam of that baseball, but was in front.
I mean, Cody Huff has hit the ball the hardest on the team today. Flied out to left twice, hit it on the screws, and then hit it on the screws to shortstop. He's 0 for 3, but he has hit the ball great today. And right there, another example of squaring it up.
Inside ball 3, count now 3-1 in favor of Huff. And the Y-D Red Sox have 5 ties on the year. Huff grounds it over to third. Could be a tough play for Wilkin. He fields it. He fires it in time across the diamond. 1 away. One out for Chase Luttrell.
Number 6, Chase Luttrell.
No one on in the bottom of the ninth. Luttrell is 0 for 3 today. He's been raking recently, though. This might be the guy you want up. Despite the lefty-lefty matchup, has 7 RBIs in his past 10 games. He's the hottest hitter that Y-D has to offer. And turns away at the changeup upstairs and inside for ball 2.
Dominic Keegan might have something to say about that.
That's fair. Luttrell fouls it back to the screen. Chase Luttrell had 2 RBIs in the 6-run 7th. That proved to be the final inning in yesterday's win. Waves at the changeup off the plate, 2-2. No one on with 1 out. And the 2-2 to Luttrell. Swung on and missed. He chased off the plate. And now 2 away in the bottom of the 9th inning. It's all up to Tyler Williams now. And Harwich might have something to say about that. Dalton Smith comes in and was spotless until the 9th. Dom Keegan hit the home run in the 9th inning a few minutes ago to tie it up. He's responsible for all of the runs that Y-D has scored today. And Tyler Williams with just 2 hits on the year. In the biggest spot of his young Y-D career, there will be a pitching change, and we will be back in a moment. Tied at 2 apiece, 1 out left for Y-D. If they want to come back and win this game, avoid their 6th tie, 6th tie of the year. We'll be back in a moment on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, bottom of the 9th, 2 outs, and the biggest spot of Tyler Williams' Y-D career. He pops it up to the right side, foul ground. Dylan Phillips is under it, and he makes the catch. Was he out of play? The umpire, Brandon Johnson, says it's an out, and that'll do it. Liam Simon comes in, 1 pitch, and records 1 out, and Tyler Williams pops out for the 27th out, and Y-D ties once again for the 6th time this season. That was a tough play for Dylan Phillips, not only to track the baseball, but to make sure that his feet were in play.
A really good play, and went over to go and catch that right by the stands, and that's how the game will end. But how about Dominic Keegan? Unbelievable what he's been able to do the last 2 games, 3 home runs, and Y-D another point. They get in the standings, and they'll face Harwich again on Wednesday with a chance to go neck and neck with them in the standings tomorrow. The next few days, crucial Eastern Division games on the horizon. So great game played today overall. Dominic Keegan, he does the job for you on the offensive end. Luis Ramirez and Jacob Metter, they were great pitching-wise for Y-D. So nice performance today overall, and Y-D salvages a tie in the bottom of the 9th. You have to feel good about that.
To come back, the backdoor cover, if you will. 2-2 tie. It's Dom Keegan Day at Red Wilson Field with 2 solo home runs and now 3 as a Y-D Red Sox. Tomorrow, back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, it will be Zach Jacobs going for Y-D on the road against Chatham at Veterans Field. Chase Hampton will go for the Anglers, and Jacobs at 1-1 tries to inch Y-D closer and closer to first place. They're now in 2nd, tied with the Mariners in terms of points with 27 apiece. They own the tiebreaker, though. Your final line from Red Wilson Field, Y-D 2 with 5 hits and 2 errors, and Harwich scored 2 as well. 1 in the first and 1 in the second with 6 hits and no errors. That's it from Red Wilson Field. For Will Connerly, I'm Brian Klein, signing off and thanking you for joining us for the duration.